A pleasant afternoon to everyone. It is an honor to present my research paper entitled Students' Acceptance of Nuclear Power in the Philippines. In an open source dataset on world energy consumption, it can be observed that there is a huge dependency on fossil fuels such as gas, coal, and oil, all of which are deemed to be non-renewable. There is only a small portion of reliance on other sources of energy. This leads to issues regarding energy security, knowing that fossil fuels will eventually be depleted. And Philippines, just like many developing countries, has its fair share on the energy crisis and its impact on the economy. In order to achieve sustainable energy goals and enhanced energy security, there should be a gradual shift from non-renewable to renewable energy sources. However, solar, wind, and hydropower alone may not be enough to meet the energy demand. We need an energy mix. Among the prospective alternative energy sources, nuclear power can serve as a bridge towards sustainable energy. Among its benefits include high energy density, which means that more electricity can be generated than its fossil fuel counterparts. It is also reliable and a stable source of energy which offers low fuel cost and low carbon emissions. However, despite these acknowledged benefits of nuclear power, it remains a contentious technology that divides public opinion and acceptance, especially when these are mentioned. Chernobyl nuclear disaster, Three Mile Island accident, Fukushima Daiichi nuclear breakdown, and even the non-operational Bataan nuclear power plant. All of these shroud nuclear power with the idea of fear, destruction, and controversies. It is believed that generations who matured with these icons of fear and destruction from nuclear power are not likely to easily change their mind, and have a tendency to focus only on the stigma and drawbacks of nuclear power. But given the controversies of the past, the issue of nuclear power acceptance must be approached with a clean slate. Students and the future generation, as yet uninfluenced, are those who will benefit in the sustainability efforts. Furthermore, they are the future decision makers of the society, and to quote a great hero, the hope of our country. The students have a vital role in societal evolution, and their acceptance of nuclear power would symbolize and influence public opinion to a large extent. Knowledge would be critical in determining the student's perception on the acceptance of nuclear power. Stigma, on the other hand, may hinder public acceptability, and these two variables are regarded to have a direct influence on government trust, as well as benefits and drawbacks of utilizing nuclear power. Integrating these variables on the theory of planned behavior that investigates acceptance and its indicators would complete the study's framework. The study's method involves gathering data through voluntary response of students from social media platform where most of the young generations usually spend their time. The data is organized, analyzed, and interpreted using descriptive and correlational measures. Findings show that majority of the respondents are female and are in college level, as justified by the majority of age range. It is also important to take note that most of the respondents came from Central Luzon, where non-operational Bataan nuclear power plant is located. Out of 19 hypothesized relationships, 14 are regarded as significant. Findings suggest that acceptance is associated with the intention of the students to use nuclear power as a source of energy, which means that stronger intention could lead to stronger acceptability. Intention is highly associated by the student's capacity to accept nuclear power, whether they have the self-efficacy and control on making this decision, their favorable view and attitude towards nuclear power's use, and the social influence or pressure from others, which comes from the attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control. And these three variables could lead to higher desirability on using nuclear power. The perception of the benefits that nuclear power can offer is associated with the perceived ease of accepting it by the students. It also correlates to favorable attitudes toward the nuclear power acceptance of oneself and others. On the contrary, the perceived drawbacks shows no significant relationship with the attitude, subjective norm, and the perceived behavioral control. This implies that some students may be aware of the disadvantages of using nuclear power, but its perceived advantages may outweigh. Trust in the government is associated with the factors that influences intention and acceptance. Believing that the government can plan and carry out nuclear energy development programs could make it easier for the students and their social group to accept it. Knowledge in nuclear power concepts, policies, and processes can improve awareness on its benefits and drawbacks that could potentially help them assess if the government can be trusted in the operation of nuclear power plant. Stigma is highly associated with the perception of drawbacks, which means that the higher the student believes in nuclear power stigma, the more they might focus on its drawbacks. In summary, we can observe from the significant relationships that nuclear power knowledge is a critical asset that could improve acceptability of nuclear power. Even though stigma could enhance the perception of drawbacks, it is vital to focus more on maximizing the potential benefits and improving the capability of the government to successfully manage an operational nuclear power plant, as the trust in government and the perceived benefits could potentially improve the students' attitude and behavioral control on their desire and acceptance of using nuclear power. Thus, the following are the recommendations that could improve the students' acceptance of nuclear power in the Philippines. Knowledge in nuclear power can be disseminated through the existing curriculum in schools and universities by teaching it in the already taught subjects such as the science, technology, and society, or through community forums for the young people who are unable to attend school. Intensive information dissemination via social media platforms can also increase awareness and comprehension of the benefits and risks of using nuclear power. In addition, the government can establish protective regulations and nuclear development programs that includes manpower development, training for students, and opening opportunities for those who have interest in nuclear education and science. Finally, nuclear programs should highlight the benefits on economic growth, societal progress, sustainability goals, and energy security. Thank you.